Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement, a channel devoted to sharing the craft of repairing, restoring, and modifying vintage electronic gear, and other random stuff. This is a Wynford-Hall clock radio that came out in the early 1970s. I think it's a really cool example of 1970s design. It has all the hallmarks you would expect from something of that era. A cabinet finished in only the finest wood grain plastic, a Lazy Susan design, which allows it to rotate, and a flip clock, which controls a transistor AM/FM stereo radio. This is branded Wynford-Hall. In case you've never heard of it, it's because very few pieces of equipment bear this name. I've personally seen 2 Wynford-Hall radios. Radio Museum lists 4. Wynford-Hall was actually made by Sanyo. So far, however, I've only told half the story, because there's another piece to it. It's this, also with a Lazy Susan on the bottom. The extension speaker plugs in with a rather strange-looking plug. The radio can be turned on by switching it to manual. And you can change the band from AM to FM. And the tuning is right over here. The only problem that I'm aware of is that the stereo light does not come on. Let's just test the FM stereo light. Oh, it should be on now. There's the light. It's not lighting at all. The way this is opened up is by removing screws which are recessed underneath. There we go. There's a lot happening inside there. I have my neighbor here today. Who are you? Did you steal my neighbor? You can't fool me. I'm not some little Cindy Lou Who, no more than 2.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side.
Boo-hoo. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, Mr. Brown's Basement is the who's who of Whoville. Now that he's gone, let's get back to work. There's the flip clock and the flip clock motor. Power transformer. This must be part of the power supply. This, of course, is the dial display. This whole thing over here is the AM/FM stereo radio. And there is our lamp, which is not working. The filament is actually broken. There's no question I need to just replace the lamp. Let's see what kind of voltage it gets when the stereo light is on. Turn on the radio. Radio is on. And turn up the volume so I know that it's on. I didn't get any voltage at all, even when I should have been getting stereo. So maybe it wants to have the other speaker hooked up. Let's see what happens. I'm getting 6.5 volts. Whether they're stereo or not. So I need to put on a load. I'll put on a resistor and see what I get. Let's say 6 volts and 20 milliamps. That would be 300 ohms. So I've got a 330 ohm resistor there. Let's try it again with this load. There we go. With no stereo signal, it's like 0 volts. And 6.5 volts, 6.3 volts with stereo signal. I need to get either a bulb that draws about 20 milliamps or an LED, but I would have to have a dummy load across it. Otherwise, it would be on all the time. I'm going to have a 1K resistor as a dummy load, it's going to take just a few milliamps. I could even use something smaller, but that's what's handy. A warm white LED will have about 2.5 volts across it when it's forward biased. That leaves 4 volts across a resistor. 10 milliamps, which is plenty, is 400 ohms. I'll use a 390, which is the closest I have. Honestly, a bulb would have been easier, but I didn't have one in this size. So both resistors have been hidden underneath the heat shrink. I would say it works. Hopefully it fits. Of course it fits. While it's open, I'm going to use the opportunity to spray in some contact cleaner into the controls, and that should make them a little bit more smooth and less crackly, and then I should be able to put it back together. Here is a surprise. I opened the second speaker, the extension. I thought there might just only be a speaker inside, but in fact, the FM multiplex circuitry is inside, which explains why they both must be connected together to get stereo. They really do need to be together. So while I'm in here, I'm going to use deoxit on the two controls and then put it back together. And there you have it, the Wynford-Hall NSI-1103 stereo clock radio from the early 1970s. I hope you enjoyed this video from Mr. Brown's Basement. Please do as Mr. Grinch did and like and subscribe to be notified when future videos are published. As always, thank you for watching.